Good evening, everyone. Really great to have you all here. This is the second MIUG this year, so really great to have you. We have three speakers tonight who will share their experience with AI and integration and how it will enhance each other. So I would like to use this moment to thank CTRL for hosting the event and organizing everything. Excellent, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
So to start off the session of Sandro of Deliver AI in every integration consultant's toolkit. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here. This is my third time that I've been in the Netherlands. The second time that I speak on this user group, which is always nice, and I will return in the future if you guys allow me to. So my name is Sandro Pereira. I came from the VSOL pool, and I start presenting myself with numbers because everything nowadays is KPIs and numbers. So in the last 20 years of my experience in integration, 1,900 blog posts, 15 years plus as a Microsoft MVP. I started to be a VSOC MVP, and now I'm an Azure MVP. I don't know what the hell that means, but I'm in integration space. Okay, don't make me questions about VNets and some stuff, because I'm focused on the integration part. Okay, being present in more than 100 events across the world, 3 books, and a lot of things. But most important, I have 3 kids. More than 150 Lego sets, and same kind of wine numbers, okay? Which is one of my passions, is wine collector. I do appreciate wines. I know that I'm in a beer country, but I came from a wine country, you know? So this is more or less my experience in the last 20 years where I work. I've been the lucky one that's worked across a little bit of the world. Of course, Portugal, being there for many years, but nowadays is more international, like Spain, Italy, France, and I had the luck also to one time to work in the Netherlands, in Axenoval, was in the Beastall pool. I think memory is not failing me. It was like 2006 R2 or something, 2010 maybe. I had the pleasure to work there in a Beastall project. I'm also an instructor of integration topics. So if you have the need or you want, please ping me. And one thing that I do like about speaking AI is that I can join these my 2 passions, that is Star Wars and the slides. Yes, AI is here. I don't know what's going to be the future. I don't know if they are going to replace us or not. Okay? I don't think so. But the thing is that, and I'm not going to enter that topic too much, but it's going to be different. Okay, it's going to be in one scenario better, and in some cases worse, because, well, it's going to replace a lot of people. Right? We are normally in an area that we replace people because we do automation, and with disasters, it comes more IT and more automation. So we are used to do that, but now our tools are also going to work against us. And most of these young people or junior people is going to struggle a little bit. And maybe we have to think out of the box how we are going to continue to justify some rates in the business and so on and so forth. Okay? This is something that you may have to think about this. But I think, and maybe I can speak with all of this room, we are in a good spot because we have the experience, okay? And the AI tool is not replacing the experience, but they can help us doing a lot of things, right? I normally say that I'm getting too old for certain things, if there are some tools that can do that for me in an easy way or help me do it in a better and faster way, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have more time to spend with my kids, and I'm going to spend more time in other projects and solutions, okay? This session is about this, okay? How to use these tools in our daily tasks to improve our performance, to improve the way we deliver this to the clients, okay? Because clients can do a lot of things at this point, autonomous, but the quality may not be that things, okay? I like to use AI, but I want to be kind of the cop that is going to inspect what this AI is providing to me and kind of say that this is good, this is not good. And we have the experience for that, okay? We can put the AI working with us to deliver solutions in a better way, in a faster way, okay? And there is a lot of tools around, okay? Choose your weapon of election, okay? Choose all of them if you want, okay? ChatGPT, I use it sometimes. This is most known probably. Gemini also, I do it often with pictures. Copilot now is integrated with the Visual Studio, the new versions of Visual Studio. VS Code, so this is the one that I use most of at the moment, but we have others, okay? Even the first time that I present this session, I did all the slides with Gamma AI, just to prove how these tools can work for us, okay? So yes, you have a lot of them. Choose the one that you like most, choose the one that help you on that specific context of your work, okay? And that's it, there is no more slides, okay? So I'm going to start playing and show how I do some of these tasks in my consultant day. And I'm going to start with Beanstalk. So we know Beanstalk is legacy, but still we have a lot of clients using Beanstalk. We have to support them. We have to improve some solutions nevertheless. Sometimes we have to create new solutions, okay? We have whole tools. Yes, 2020 can use Visual Studio in 2022, but there are a lot of problems, and most likely you use Visual Studio 2019 doesn't have Copilot available, and so on and so forth, okay? So, I have a problem that I managed to solve it recently, but the team was spending like 1 week to solve an ADI issue, because there was an empty character there. It was creating a comma, that it was creating an empty line, and no one knew why the hell that line is appearing, okay? So we are still investigating why, but meanwhile I have to solve this solution to somehow put this working. I have here, of course, already prepared some of these prompts, otherwise we will spend too much time. But what I did was saying that, okay, I have a sample of a pipeline class, okay? Actually, this is the class, the default class that we use with the pipeline wizard, okay? And I just say, okay, based on this example, create me on the execution that we receive a stream with this ADI, and you see that there is here a double quotes that is producing the lines. Just fix this for me. So, sorry. So I'm just going to use, because we don't have this in Beanstalk project, I'm going to use here the helper class with the Copilot, and I'm just going to say, do that for me, okay? And he's actually going to create a class that I'm going to copy that class and copy to a Beanstalk project, put it running, and it's going to fix everything for me without me doing a single line of code. Of course, yeah, wait a little bit. That is the tricky part, but it's going to be faster. Then sometimes we struggle a little bit trying to understand how we get a stream, how we're going to convert that stream into a string, how to change these, how to split all of this stuff, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is going to create everything for me. It's going to start this, or create, remove. I think already is being created, and at the end it's going to provide me all the inputs that is going to be there. Okay? Now, if I go this, that should be here. Remove ADI, or is still creating? Oh, there you go. Okay. So we create this class, and if you go and see on the execute, we have all the code that is going to split that in a better way. Of course, we cannot improve that code, but again, it did everything for me. Okay. And trust me when I say that this is going to work, because I just did that. I went that and copied to Beanstalk, and I copied to the project, create a pipeline component. Oh, sorry. Oh. I have many machines with similar passwords, and sometimes I struggle to find the correct one. Security. I did create it. I did have here port with the ADI. So I have this file here that if I open again, there is a double quote here. Okay, what happens is that these will create an empty line. I have here the and if I put these now, let me clean this output. I put the file in, and it's going to generate the same file here, and it's clean. Okay? Maybe it's not a beautiful way to solve the problem. I can solve the problem in another way, yes, but at least I solve a problem that is pending for 1 week in a project, and now we have a workaround, and then I can focus my time to understand where is actually the problem. I think it's on some configuration on the ADI party, but I have to investigate this. Again, just take 5 minutes to do this. Right? That's it. Right? I even don't know too much, don't need to know too much about what is a pipeline. Right? Now, we can escalate this to other problems. Now, another thing that I do is I work a lot with transformations, of course, okay, and assessments. And recently I did a Beanstalk assessment, and I had to understand what it was the sequels, what was the version of the sequels, cumulative updates with the sequels, and so on and so forth. All of this, okay. And sometimes we are used to have some versions of SQL, and we can see it in the other side. I have to do that, and in one case I had to go to Beanstalk 2010, which is already too late, in the old Windows, and I have to understand again and again what it is. So I went in, and I sometimes use that, saying, ChatGPT, create a SQL statement that can I check what is the version, and so on and so forth. And just asking this, and he provided me, yes, you can see, you can check these, you can query that, and it provides the query string. Of course, if you provide a good prompt, it will create a better response for you. So if you're just saying basic stuff, that will give you some crap, and sometimes you just say, give me the script, and that will generate the script, okay? can you provide me the SQL statement or something like that? Okay? The response will be good as your queries and your answers to be there, but this is some, again, you maybe use this, you are going to speak and interact with this, but at the end it's going to generate this. In my case, it generates a simple statement that I execute, and indeed, if I go this and open my SSMS, it's going to provide me that, that capability nevertheless, okay? So again, simple questions. I'm not a SQL expert. I work a lot with SQL, but I don't consider myself a SQL expert. Sometimes these tools going to provide us and help us solving this kind of problem, okay? Again, I use these tools to improve a little bit and perform to be faster. Now I have a developer edition, and I don't have any updates. This is the RTM version that I installed from all this. So it is what it is, okay? So it will help me do some assessments and again, every day I'm going to improve and be faster, okay? Now another thing is that I work a lot with mappings, and ADI mappings sometimes are crazy, okay? They do a lot of conditions, and it will be simple or faster depending on the quality of the data of the client. Sometimes they have to do expensive inner joins and validations and so on and so forth, okay? So I use often Copilot 365 and say, okay, I want XSLT 1.0, and I want to have a condition to check if this is good or not. I know this, but sometimes I forgot about the sentence because you know this stuff, okay? Everything has to be manual. Sometimes you do it with Notepad, and it's easy to forget and make mistakes, okay? So it provides that for you, okay? And this is simple stuff. But I also have some complexity that I did create this manually and get an error saying that the when cannot be a child of the if condition. I knew that I put everything correctly. At least I was thinking that I put everything correctly, okay? So, and this is an expensive custom XSLT. So I'm just saying that, okay, I have this XSLT, this is the error, explain me why, verify, and important to not shorten the code, to not omit repeating. I was verbosing on my question, okay? Of course, this is an improvement of my first interaction with the Copilot and the AI, okay? And again, I put this, and this will easily identify what is the problem. The when needs to be inside the shoes. I forgot to put the shoes there, okay? So it will easily replace this and solve my problems. But of course, this sometimes takes a little bit to respond, and we have to wait, but still faster than we have to inspect every single line in Notepad and check what is wrong, and sometimes it's not easy to find this stuff, okay? Again, this is just the old style, using the old tools like Beanstalk, okay? Again, it's checking. We close this. Now, while he's checking, I will present that later. Let's go and move for the Azure stuff, okay? So this that you are seeing on the screen is an old function of mine. This function is to read the error that happens inside the logic app. As you know, there is no throw exception. There is no exception.message and you get the error message inside the logic app. We have to query the Azure API to get the error message, the error message in a dynamic way. Problem with Azure, with the Azure function, is the .NET framework. This was made in .NET 6, which is deprecated, no longer used, supported. And guess what? Microsoft did a good job and break the consistency between the .NET 6 and .NET 8 or 9. So the same code doesn't work. I have to adapt my code into the new version of the .NET version. Okay? I did this exercise with my juniors guys. I asked them, can you migrate this to .NET 9? They spent like 2 days or 3 just to provide me the answer. Okay? I did the Copilot style. So I went there and we check here. So I have this .NET 6 normal support. Need to update this to, right? And again, this is really extensive prompt because yesterday I was fighting with this and I provide some context, he migrate, I build it, it fails, give an error, I say solve me this error and so on and so forth, okay? I took like half an hour to do this. So I tried to combine here to be faster, okay? So what I did, I have here is, I want this, I want to target to be .NET 9. Please make sure these nugget packets are installed because I'm going to need for this migration. But again, once you start speaking with AI and get this concept, you have more details and then you perform better queries, better prompts to your stats, okay? So if I take this and put now in Visual Studio 2020, in this case, I'm going to say, can you migrate this? Okay? Do all this migration, do whatever you want to do this. I want this to be supported again. I want to deploy this again to my new solution. Okay? It's going to take some time, like 5 minutes or so, but it's doing stuff. It's analyzing, it's reading the context of the project, what are the functions that I have here, everything, and it's going to create a migration plan or an integration plan. It's going to ask me if I want to do this. Sometimes it's a little bit annoying because it's always asking permission to do it, okay? But it is what it is, but it's doing a lot of things and it's going to do it at the end properly, okay? Now while we are waiting, if I go here on my Copilot, you see that I have the full XSLT correct in there that I can copy, paste it, and execute it. Sometimes we do a little mistake, but when we try it, we identify this and we just fix it. This is the good things. We have the skills to check what is there and fix it. Okay? But Copilot is faster than us, and it's not getting tired. We sometimes get tired a little bit in mistakes. Right? I did a mistake that forget the shoes on the when condition because I was tired. I was focusing on other things. Right? This doesn't and provide a decent and sometimes very accurate result. Okay. Now going back to the as a function, you see that it's doing a lot of things. It keeps track of what it changed. Okay, so you know you can, if you want, you can deep analyze what is changing and say keep it, do not keep it. You have the power to decide that, okay? But he's trying to build, he's failing, he's adapting his work, and at the end, is going to provide something that actually I'm going to be able to execute, okay? So, where will it be a second? Again, sometimes this takes a little bit more time, sometimes it's a bit faster. It's the tools that are doing the job, but now you see that it's building successful, and you say the summary of the changes that he did, .NET 6, .NET 9, and so on and so forth, okay? And whatever it changed, so let's see, so you can keep it, but let's try to execute, okay? Sometimes it works at the first time, sometimes it gives some errors. But let's see. Okay? Come on. Let me close these two free some memory of my machine. What is doing? With nothing? Oh, it gives an error. So we have an error on the execution. What I normally do is just pick this error, stop it, and say, good pilot, we have this error. Even I don't ask nothing. I'm just saying, there is this error. It's going to analyze that again. Again, if you provide a prompt with more details and more specific, it's going to do a better job. If you don't get in too much detail, it's trying to interpret what you are doing and try to do that. In this case, I'm just saying, okay, this is failing, solve me this problem. And it's actually it's trying to again build failing, which is quite normal, this to happen, but this is the interaction between you and the AI tools. Again, at the end, you spend 10 minutes with this. It's going to be faster than you try to adapt all of this stuff. So let's see if it's able to succeed now. Yeah. Now we are there. Okay? We will try this, but for now, it's running. Okay? Before we try, let's try to do more stuff. Okay? Actually, I did create this, but I don't like this. Okay? Again, sometimes I also do stupidity. I don't like naming conventions. This is not in the best practice. Okay? I don't like to use that camel case on the names. I use kebab case, everything lower with the minus in the middle and so on and so forth. Okay? So I like to do this stuff. So let's stop this and let's start making some additional stuff. Now, again, LogicApp cannot provide capabilities of throw an exception. Okay? There is no throw exception. Sometimes what we do is convert an integer and put a string. But that will fail with a different error. I want to throw an exception, but give an error message. Like we normally do in C#, what normally do in BStock also. Still BStock has that capability, okay? So the way that I do these days, I have this function. We can do it in the API management also, but it's kind of a loop back. I send a message, throw me a 500 with that message. It's a throw exception. Okay? So what I'm going to say is, create me a throw exception, that I give you the message, I give you a payload. It can be a string, it can be a JSON, it can be an XML. It throw me back with a 500. Just simple as that. And let's see what it's doing. But trust me, it's going to do a good job because it's a simple task. So again, it's saying that it's creating a file. It has 39 lines, and this is the code that generates. Again, I'm passing a payload. It will throw me back that payload. Again, I don't use the same naming convention that I use, throw exception. Now, I'm going to fix that naming convention. I'm going to say that, can you fix all the function URIs to be kebab case? Because I like that best practice. Again, with a simple prompt, it's going to analyze all my code. If I have 20 functions, it's going to work with that 20 functions in a minute. If he has 3, do all of these 3s. But he's creating that. And I don't need to explain what is kebab case. He knows that everything is lowercase with space. So keep it. Now, if I run it again, all my URI is going to be okay, and we have a throw exception then. Now, sometimes when I do this, the result is not the expected, because on the migration with the JSON update, it doesn't have well with JSON, and then we say, okay, fix this, and then not we fix it. I try to improve the prompt in order that it gives me the correct message, but let's try, okay? Bruno here, that is kind of related with Postman, but I need to fix the URI. So this is the URI. So in order for me to get the error message, I need to provide in consumption. I'm using the same in standard, but standard we need an additional field. In consumption, I need to provide the subscription ID, the resource group, the logic app name, and the run ID. Okay? Based on this, I'm going to query the REST API of the Azure logic app consumption, and it's going to provide me the run history, and I'm going to filter that with the errors. And dynamically, I get the error that happens inside that. Okay? The same for standard, but then we need to provide the logic app standard name also. Right? So additional parameter. Of course, it's taking more time, but because it's the first time. But yes, I have this, and trust me, I can show you. There is a conversion CSV to JSON action that is failing because I don't have that connectivity configured very well. I forced to have an error. Okay? But this is the error that indeed you find in the Azure portal. And it's dynamic, okay? You can happen in any shape inside a logic app. I'm going to get the correct error message that we can log to the system. Right? And again, no line of code. Okay? My juniors took 2 days to do this. Okay. Now, let's go for VS Code, because nowadays VS Code is our main tool. Don't ask me if I like it or not, but it is what we have, okay? If you are working in Logic App Standard, this is the tool that you need to use. Okay? Now, there is one thing that I like in the integration topic, that is mappings. Okay? There is one tool that is not that great, but it is what we have, that is the data mapper. Okay? You may like it, you may not like it, but it's something that we can use to do some mapping inside the Logic app, inside the designer. Okay? Because we don't have any, we have other mapping, that is the integration account mapping, that is in VS 2019. We don't need an integration account, okay? We just need the toolings. And what we have is the bstock mapper without the bstock dependencies. It's XSLT 1.0. Okay? So it's everything that bstock has without the need to have bstock. But we need to have Visual Studio 2019 installed to use that tools. We then can grab the XSLT and use inside our VS Code standard project free. Okay, you don't need to pay. I'm not saying that you need an integration account and pay that money just to create that mapping. The tools are free. Okay, but again, legacy 1.0, and it's not integrating VS Code. In VS Code, we have data mapper. The beautiful thing about data mapper is that it is, sorry, my kids. It is XSLT 3.0. Okay, so it actually supports new XSLT. Maybe rings again because my kids are annoying just saying that. They are leaving the school. So let me delete these. Okay. So if I go here, basic of mappings, and open with the Logic App Design. For those who doesn't know, this is kind of the style when you have a schema. Why it didn't happen? Oh, I know the other way. We choose things that I delete, something that I shouldn't delete before this, but not to worry. Create a data mapper. Let's do a test map. And we have a person, oh, not this one. Okay, I got it. Okay, the data map tool is not working very well these days. Okay? Even yesterday I had problems, all right? But one thing that you can do inside the data map these days is creating something similar with BSOC that is a full-toy. And this is called a function, but it's a custom function. And what that custom function is custom XSLT behind the scenes. So I have one scenario here that is quite difficult to create inside the full-toys and traditional mapping, that is converting a date to my age. Okay? I give you the data of my birth, and you have to say that I am 48 years old. You can do it with a chain of functions, because you can say that, okay, I'm going to get the first year, get the year today, and do some calculation, and so on and so forth. In BSOC, it's easy, because we can use C# code. And so we can do a small function with a C# code, and we give that almost immediately. Here, we cannot use C# inside this mapping, so we have to do the XSLT. And you have to understand this XSLT 3.0 and so on and so forth, okay? And you have to understand where to put the function inside the project and all of this, okay? Because you have to put inside a specific folder with a specific format, okay? So it's kind of very restricted on that, okay? So what I did was, let me check here what it is. Okay. This is the sample that Microsoft provided when they released this. Okay. So I have the sample that Microsoft provided in documentation, and what I say is that based on this sample that is creating a custom function, okay, give me the age when I give you when I give you my date of birth. Give me the age. Okay. So I give a sample, and I say what to do, what I want them to create for me. Okay. So if I do this and I go to VS Code, okay, and I actually do this, okay, this is going to interpret what I want. It's going to create me a sample of this, and it's going to put the file in the correct place inside my VS Code, everything without me knowing what happened behind the scenes. Okay? And then, if the tool works, okay, I'll be able to see the full toy inside the toolbox and drag it to my mapping and map this and give that for me. Okay? So, saying keep. If I go here, you see, I already have again my calculate age, and this is XSLT 3.0 is using all of what necessary to calculate my age, and it's going to provide me saying a string 48 years old. Right? Again, I have to do nothing. I put inside the artifacts data mapper extension. If there is no this folder, it will create that for me, and it's going to put that in the correct place so I can use it. Okay? I would like to show you how this works, but unfortunately, the data mapper is not working at all. Could not, oh, schema cannot be found if the schemas are there. That's another good option. Let me see. Basically, map AI. schemas are there, so I don't know what it is. All right, but you get the point. All right? Now, let me delete this one. Sometimes what we can also do is, okay, again, I provide a sample of a local function, okay? If you are familiar with Logic App Standard, one of the features that Microsoft released like 1 year ago was the availability of running local functions inside the same engine of the Logic App Standard. So you no longer need to call another function. It is a local, and it has kind of a different trigger, the action trigger, okay? So what I did is I copied one sample that Microsoft does, that is the weather. When you create a workspace with a C# function, local function, it creates always this weather function, okay? I use that template and I say, okay, create a function that I'm going to give this payload, XML, first name, last name, zip, phone calls, okay? Map me this, create me a function that do a mapping and provide me this output, okay? I don't specify where to I'm going to give, I'm saying that I want the full name, but I'm not saying that you have to read the first name, concatenate with the last name, and so on and so forth. I'm just saying, this is the inbound, this is the outbound, do whatever you want to do. I was trying to see how smart this is, okay? And I just went there and exactly did the same, okay? I don't think this is the one. Gosh. Oh, this. Oh, this. So, I thought I was copying correct. Oh, I did copy extra stuff. I did copy extra stuff. Sorry, guys. Let me stop these. No, okay. So again, it's going to sync what I request, and it's going to create me inside my function app. And even I didn't told that I have already a function app project there, a local one. It's going to analyze my project. It knows that I have this function map, that is my project inside the solution that is with the functions. And it's going to create from there another file with my my code. With my new code, okay? You see that we already create again the personal origin to target, okay? And it's going to say the result of what it's doing and so on and so forth, okay? Again, if I try this, and I tried this in the past just for, I don't know how much time I have it, Rex is not there. But trust me, he's doing a good job. It's 5 minutes. So you have you send the payload, I execute the transformation, and it's going to provide that result. Okay? What he did is just again a function, and inside that workflow trigger, he put all the reading of my XML and do all the transformation that is happening. If I want, I can go here, again fix this if something is wrong, or ask again to improve this. Again, 0 lines of codes, limit inputs provided, and it's doing a decent job. Okay? Now, this is small stuff. Okay? But I did something extra that was saying that create me a Logic App standard workflow that's going to accept a payload from a blob storage, blah, 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 so on. You have to receive a request by HTTP, create an XSD file, that is this file, that has all of this stuff there that I want inside the XSLT, validate, parse the XSD. So I'm providing here the kind of the workflow that I want him to create for me. Okay? And see if he actually can create a workflow for me. Maybe it's not the best design, but it's trying, of course. Okay? And now, let me see here. Okay, I copy correctly. Say yes, do it. Okay? I don't have XSLT created. I'm asking him to create the XSD for me, the schema for me, because I know that I'm going to receive that schema. Okay? Why? Because I don't have any schema editor inside Logic Apps. Again, I can use the integration account to create schemas, but it's in a separate tool. It has VS 2019. Some of the people do not have access to Visual Studio. They don't have the tools, and I struggle that with the teams. Yeah? So I say, okay, create that for me. I can later fine-tuning that, but at least see if it's able to create this for me. Yeah? And if I'm lucky, there you go, there is the enumeration result XSD. It able to create this. If I open with the schema editor of Visual, you will see that it's a perfect schema. I may need to fine-tuning what is a string, what is an integer, and so on and so forth. Okay, you got the point. And we are here. Open with the designer. I don't know if it's already ended up creating all of these, but let's see. It's still creating some stuff behind scenes. Trust me, yesterday there was no errors there because it's still creating in the connection string, the connections or the configuration for that, and so on and so forth. He didn't do a bad job. Okay, so it's kind of, we have a trigger, we have a validation. If it fails, there is a termination response, the HTTP response saying that it's failed. If succeed, I'm going to loop with that array because there is an array there, and saying that it did everything that I asked in a simple way. If it was me, I put a scope with a try catch, but again, 90% of the work is there. I can improve that. And if I provide a more detailed and more correct prompt, that will be better. Okay? Just to close, with the Beanstalk migrations, okay? You know, Beanstalk mappings, copy the XSLT. There are some cases we call a DLL, which is supported, okay? But that DLL needs to be inside the folder. Let me just open these. Yes. So I have here a mapping there, and you see that there's inside this .NET 4.7, custom .NET 4.7, we need to place DLL that the maps works. Okay? We can put in another lib, but the built-in lib is for connectors, and it shouldn't be used for the DLLs. So you have to provide that DLL inside this .NET, custom .NET for 7.2, and place that DLL there. The problem is that when I build this function will clean this folder and copy that DLL into that folder. So I always need to copy back the file into that folder, and it's always a nightmare struggling with this, okay? What we can do is, again, we can try to solve this. So what I did was to solve this. I knew that there was a solution for this, but not to spend time. I say, I have an assembly, it's here, okay? That needs to be inside the lib custom for 7. However, each time that I locally run this, everything is clean, I need to make sure that it's copied for that one, okay? And I don't know if I can present it very well, because I'm going to be fast here, but again, I copy these, and he's actually going to fix that for me. So every time now, trust me, this works. You can try it later on. But every time that I build the project and run it, it will automatically add a DLL there, and then we'll never have a problem again. Right? Again, these are some samples. These are some situations that I passed in my daily life as a consultant. I hope you like it, and I hope you try this, because it's going to provide you more quick outputs that we have today. Right? Right. Thank you.
Any questions for Sandro?
Yeah. Don't be afraid. I'm a nice guy.
No? Okay. Sandro, thank you very much. Hope you like beer also.
I like it.
It's Belgian beer. Thank you.
For beer, yes, I believe.
Yeah, for beer.